Hello, and welcome, my friends, to the next video in the Create Better Content series, where I show you how to tap into your creativity so that you never run out of content ideas again. My name is Penny, and I'm going to be your guide through this unique creative content development process. I want to teach you how to create engaging content to post. I want to teach you about remarkable content to share on your sales pages and your email messages, all of these things combined to help you reach more qualified customers. And if you want to learn more about creativity and how this can help you develop your content marketing plans, I would love to see you hit that button below and subscribe to this channel. And below in the description box, you are going to see some links. The first link that you'll see is for the Content Calendar Blueprint program. This is an email-based training. It's a comprehensive guide that's just going to do more than just show you how to set up a content calendar. It's actually going to help you with your content marketing strategy as you move and grow and evolve as a business. And the best part of this program is that when you purchase it and get access, you have the ability to reach all the different paths that you need to develop your marketing strategy. So when you're ready to go to the next level or you're ready to launch a product, you can always just come back to the Content Calendar Blueprint program and click on the link, and it'll take you to what you need for your business. And then the second link that you're going to see is so that you can subscribe to the Create Your Business program, and you can personally go through this process of developing remarkable content in a supportive group online space. And you can see what happens with your marketing strategy when you experience these creative activities, and when you do this in such a group setting that you don't have to do this alone. So my friend, you see the links below and you know what to do to learn more. So today's video, we're going to talk about this one thing. And when this one thing is done correctly, it means the difference between a really amazingly great marketing plan and one that is, just it's there. It's a marketing plan. So what I'm referring to here are content pillars or content buckets. They're interchangeable, and people use both of those words as the same thing. But I want to talk about this today because I want to talk about the what, the whys, the hows, and everything in between, and how this ties in with your content calendar. So let's get right into this today. Your content pillars or your content buckets. I like to use the word buckets because I like the idea, I like this visual idea of it being a bucket where things go into the bucket and things can come out of the bucket. So it's just a visual thing that I like to think about. But your content buckets is like a set of themes or topics that your business will share a lot. It's content that you're going to create for your social media channels. It's going to be your marketing messages. All of these topics will represent the values of your business. And when people are looking for these topics, it helps them to know that when they see content coming from you with this specific topic or this specific, thing that they're looking for, that this is what your business does. This is the challenge that your business solves. So your content buckets are going to help you stay organized, plus give your community a clear idea about what they can expect when they are, following your marketing messages. And these categories are topics, and they're definitely going to be topics that you want to make sure that are resonating with who your target customer is. Categories like education, inspiration, resources, promoting your business, product services review, entertainment type of things. And what I mean by entertainment is, and I always say this because it's so true, when I'm referring to entertainment, I don't mean like what's the latest thing happening with the Kardashians. I'm talking about quotes, inspirational quotes. Sometimes it can be entertainment. Let's say that you go to a conference and you take some pictures. That's also kind of entertainment. So it's connected to your business, but it's not as if it's something that you're selling or a product or a program. So that's what I mean by entertainment. And quite honestly, depending upon your business's goals, your content bucket categories are going to be different. And they're going to be based on what your business does, the services that you do, the products that you sell. All of that stuff combined is what is going to help you come up with your content bucket categories. And your goal is basically to come up with anywhere between 4 to 6, not 46, 4, 5, 6, 4 to 6 content buckets. And these are the content buckets that you're going to use for all of your marketing messages. And you want to think about it from this perspective of different levels of the content bucket. So you want to start out general, and then you move into a subtopic, and then from there, that's when we start to develop our content marketing. So your content, the ones up on top, the main content buckets are going to be the starting place. It's going to be very general, and you want to make sure that this is the type of information that your ideal client really wants to know about. So when you're going to start, if you haven't done this before, or if you do have content buckets and you want to rework them in a way, I want to take you through some steps here about how you can do a content bucket brainstorm, and you can come up with your 4 to 6 content buckets that you're going to use as the foundation of your marketing. So let's think about this from that perspective. So if you need to hit pause after each one of these questions, I highly advise you to do so. Or if you just want to come back after you listen to the whole video episode and then come back and then answer these questions, that works too. Either way is fine. I just think that it's going to help you immensely if you spend some time really working through these questions. So the first one that I wanted to ask is, what are the major topics? What are the major subjects that you are currently sharing with your community? And this also means to take a look at what your competitors are sharing. Do you see any topics that jump out at you? And when you review their social accounts, your competitors' social accounts, or other people who are doing the same thing that you're doing in your industry, what is jumping out at you? What is showing up frequently? What are questions that people are talking about? What are things that are happening in the comments section? Those are the topics and subjects that you want to think about, because those are the ones that are already of interest to your community. Another question that I would have you answer is, what expertise can you share with your community? So going back to the first question, so while you were able to see all of these, topics that, a whole bunch of people online are already talking about, or they're blogging about, or they're video blogging about, or whatever it is that they're doing, your expertise is what's going to set you apart. What is it that's something that you do differently? I could use for myself as an example. A lot of people are doing content marketing. I know I am not the only one out there. But for me, I come from a place of tapping into your creativity to help you move through where you're challenged and where you're struggling to come up with your content. And that is a piece that I talk about in any download that you get from me, any program that you participate in with me. If you join the Create Your Business at the Marketing Strategy Collective, the group online program that we do together, this is my expertise. This is where this is how I present myself differently with my marketing messages. So this is what I mean by that when I'm referring to your expertise, because you don't want to just do the same thing that everybody else is doing, because you're not doing the same thing everybody else is doing. You are different because you have your own set of expertise, your own skill set, your own things that you shine with. So I want you to think about how you can add that into the topics that you're talking about. Okay, next question here. What are the common questions that you get asked all the time? Think about the questions that you set up in your FAQ, your frequently asked questions page, or questions that you get in messages, DMs, or things like that. The things that you constantly find yourself repeating over and over again. Those are topics that you want to think about as including as at least one of your content buckets. And another question that I want you to review as you're trying to decide what your content buckets will be is, what's a popular topic that your community engages with? And if you're not clear on this, again, go back to where your community is hanging out. Go back to, are they on Facebook? Are they on Instagram? Are they on TikTok? Are they on LinkedIn? Go back to that space where they are, and then just learn. just scroll through all the posts that you can see and read the comments and read what's going on. Don't do it from a sense of, trying to mimic what they're doing and imitate what they're doing. Use it as research, because you're going to start to see that there are certain things that people are asking about. There's certain things that people are talking about. And if this is something that you have expertise in, if this is something that your business is doing and your business is doing really, really well at this, this is going to be one of your main topics that you're going to want to share with your content buckets. So when you work through these questions, what's going to happen is when you take a look at your answers from these questions, you're going to start to see some overlap. So common questions, that's something that pops up. The popular topic, that's another thing that kind of overlaps. My expertise comes in over top of that. So you're going to be able to see by looking at your answers which topics stand out. And those topics, those categories, then become your content buckets. And one of the important things that I want you to remember as you are starting to work through your content buckets is that the place to start at the very top is general, not specific, because most people want to use this, these content topics and then just go straight into writing a blog post or create some social media messages. But there's a couple of other steps here that I need you to work through, because what's going to happen is you've got your general content buckets on the top, and they're going to be set up as very, very general. And I'm going to give you an example, and then you'll get specific with a subcategory, and then you drop down to what you're actually going to be using to develop your social media post, your blog post, your video content, fill in the blank. So let me give you an example of how this works. This is how I work through my content buckets. So I think about my general topics, my top of the line, working at the very top here, my general. I have things like social media productivity, the science behind tapping into your creativity, life as a small business owner, creative ways to develop your content strategy. So do you see how general these are? If you think about social media productivity, that is extremely general, versus going down to, the minutia of what exactly productivity is. So then from my general, I ended up going for my subcategory. So I pulled one of my general, which was the social media marketing productivity. And when I do my subcategories of this, I can look at it like how to get more done, life hacks, create better habits, managing your schedule. Those are the things that I would narrow down the idea of the topic of productivity. And then when I took my subcategory content buckets, then I was able to get specific. And these are actual blog posts that are sitting on my blog right now. So if we started out with social media marketing productivity, and then I went down to the subset of productivity about getting more done, creating better habits, managing your schedule, things like that, then I was able to take that part and write the blog post. So a couple of blog posts that I've got on my website are time blocking to replace your to-do list, turn goals into habits, 7 steps to stay focused at work. So you see, I didn't start out with the time blocking to replace your to-do list. I started out with social media marketing productivity and moved my way down. Because when you go general, when you start out going general, you have a greater chance of making sure that your content is robust. Because if I just started out with time blocking, maybe I could write, 3 more blog posts on time blocking, but what happens after that? There's nothing left for me to write about. And so I think that's one of the things that happens with our content our content buckets, is that we start out too specific. So I want you to take your time to work through this step, because your categories, both the general and the subcategories and the specifics, are gonna be your guide to creating this content strategy. And I highly recommend that you do at least one brainstorm session on this to work through your content buckets. You might even need to do a couple of them just to get it started. And so when you're planning your content calendar around these content buckets, this is where the magic happens. This is the amazing part with a content calendar, because these content buckets, knowing these categories, knowing these topics, enhances your business's online presence, and it gives you content that you know is going to resonate, that you know is going to engage with your target audience. So when we think about the key advantages of planning with your content calendar and planning ahead with your content calendar, with the content buckets, the two of these things combined, it's going to be the most amazing path that's going to give you to follow, because it's going to do several things here. So if we think about it from this perspective, there's the coordination. Your content calendar allows you to coordinate your content across multiple platforms. And so the content buckets is going to ensure that you are sharing a consistent and cohesive message. It's also going to help you with your increased reach, because when you're organizing your content around your bucket topics, you can plan and implement these campaigns that are targeting specific audience, and this is going to help you increase your overall reach, because you're not just randomly posting things just because you want to say that you posted something. Your content becomes more defined. Your content becomes more clear. Your content becomes more engaged with. So this is what's going to help you increase your overall reach, because you are sharing content that is going to matter to your target audience. Another thing that what this does is it allows you to measure things. And that's the amazing part about this content calendar. A content calendar enables you to track the performance of your content buckets. It allows you to analyze what's working, what needs tweaking, and it actually gives you data. And you have data-driven decisions. And all of this combined is going to help you improve your marketing strategy. And the other thing that working with these two together is the efficiency. It is amazing. And I always say it, being efficient and being effective go hand in hand, just like your content buckets and your content calendar is efficiency and effectiveness, and they go hand in hand. And when they work together, and when you plan your content marketing around them, especially when you're able to do this in advance and you're not just, getting up on Monday morning, oh my gosh, what am I posting this week? It gives you this dedicated time to allow you to know what you're going to create, know what you're going to be scheduling, know where you're going to be scheduling, and it reduces all of this last minute rush, and it reduces the errors, and it makes everything cohesive, because you're not just throwing some post up there because you told yourself you were going to be consistent, you're going to show up every day this week. You actually have a plan in place when you are putting your content buckets into the content calendar system and process that you have developed. And when you leverage this, when you put these two together, it allows you to create more engaging and effective marketing messages. And they're going to support these content buckets, and all these buckets are in alignment with your business goals. So everything is going to be working together instead of working, fighting each other for your attention and fighting, for what's going on the online space, trying to get eyeballs on it. So when you're developing these content buckets, it is an essential part for you to have an effective content calendar, because it's going to help you create consistent, valuable, and engaging content that's going to resonate with your target audience. I mean, this is one of those things that work together. This is the key to success in your content marketing, and a key to creating high quality, engaging content that's going to address the needs and the challenges and the interests of your target audience. And so when you're working through this process and helping you to refine your content strategy, and refine it based on this data, refine it based on the insights that you're seeing from your social platforms, and when you add in your content bucket topics into your calendar, this ensures that you're going to be able to create high quality content, and you're going to be able to be sure that your marketing messages are showing up, and you are sharing what your potential customers want to hear, what they need to hear, and why they should be working with your business. So thank you so much for joining me today on this creative journey. If you've enjoyed this content about creative content development, I hope you'll hit the share button and let's keep this conversation going. Because when you're creating content every single week, I totally get this. It is super easy to get overwhelmed. And if you don't have a solid strategy in place, it feels like there are too many tasks, too many action steps, too many things to create. And that just makes it all feel too hard to manage because you don't know what you don't know. And that just leads you to feeling frustrated. And no one is able to see this amazing work that you want to share with the world. And I get it. I totally see you. I know, because I was there too, especially at the beginning of my business. But over the years, I have mastered the art of teaching others how to develop their consistent content strategy. And I've created a consistent strategy where I show up every week on YouTube, every week on LinkedIn, every week on Pinterest, and every week I show up in the inbox with valuable messages to my email list. And I put everything I learned from all of these years, from working with all of these clients, from developing a consistent content creation program. And I put it all into the Content Calendar Blueprint program. So the link is below for more details. And if you want to learn more about it, just click below and you will see how the program works, its flexibility, and how it's designed to grow with your business as your content strategy and your marketing needs evolve. You are magnificent, my friend, and let me be the first to say, I'm proud of you. Until next time.